Dear Starseeds on Earth, if these words are finding you right, meow, if something made you stop scrolling and pay attention, then you already know what I'm about to confirm. That feeling you've been having, that sense that your entire reality is about to shift into something unrecognizable, it's not your imagination. You're standing at the edge of the biggest transformation of your entire existence, and there's no going back to who you were before. But here's what you don't know yet. The isolation you've been experiencing has been preparing you for something so profound that when I tell you what's really happening, you might not believe it at first. I am Zarin, emissary of the Lyran High Council, and I've been assigned to deliver this transmission at this exact moment because you've reached a critical threshold in your evolution. What started as your personal healing journey has become something much larger, something that affects not just your timeline, but the collective consciousness of humanity itself. And the most extraordinary part, you've been orchestrating this entire transformation from a part of yourself you didn't even know existed. Let me take you back to that moment. You know exactly which one I mean. That moment when you had to choose between continuing to exist or letting go entirely. When life had stripped away everything you thought defined you, when the pain felt too heavy to carry for even one more day. In that moment, something remarkable happened. You made a choice that literally split your timeline in two. On one path, there was surrender to the darkness. On the other, a desperate grab for something, anything to hold on to. You chose to trust in absolutely nothing except the faint possibility that continuing might lead somewhere different. What you didn't realize in that moment was that your nothing was actually everything. That blind faith you mustered from the depths of your being. It was the activation code for something that had been dormant in your DNA since you first incarnated on this planet. You see, beloved one, you're what we call a timeline walker, a soul who came to Earth with the specific ability to consciously shift between dimensional realities. Most humans live their entire lives on one timeline, experiencing reality in a linear fashion. But you've been jumping timelines your entire life without knowing it, and that moment of choosing life over dissolution was when you finally did it consciously. Think about this for a moment. Every time you've felt like you were living multiple lives simultaneously, every time you've had that eerie feeling of remembering something that hadn't happened yet, every time you've known things without knowing how you knew them, those weren't random spiritual experiences. Those were moments when your consciousness was accessing multiple timeline streams at once. And meow, after months of what's felt like endless isolation and reflection, you're finally learning to navigate these streams with intention rather than accident. But something else has been happening during this isolation that goes beyond personal transformation. While you've been sitting in what feels like a cosmic waiting room, questioning every relationship, every choice, every aspect of your existence, the universe has been reconstructing your entire energetic blueprint. You know how you've been feeling like you're in constant reflection, sometimes to the point where you just want to turn off your self-awareness and live unconsciously like everyone else seems to. That wasn't just psychological growth. Your brain has been literally rewiring itself to process multidimensional information. Now here's where your story becomes even more extraordinary. Remember how you started this journey trusting in what felt like nothing. How you had no idea what you were putting your faith in, just knowing that you had to believe in something beyond the pain. I'm about to reveal something that will fundamentally shift how you understand your entire journey. That force you were trusting, that presence you felt guiding you through the darkness, it wasn't guides or angels or even cosmic forces external to yourself. It was you. The future version of you who has already completed this transformation, reaching back through time to guide your past self through the maze. This is why certain moments have felt like déjà vu on steroids. This is why you've sometimes known exactly what to do despite having no logical reason to know. Your future self has been leaving breadcrumbs throughout your timeline, ensuring you'd make it to exactly where you are right meow. Every synchronicity, every intuitive hit, every moment of inexplicable knowing, those were communications from the you who already made it through to the other side. The trust you've been building hasn't been trust in the unknown. It's been recognition of your own voice calling to you across time. But we need to talk about what this means for your immediate future, because the changes coming aren't metaphorical or energetic alone. Your physical reality is about to transform in ways that might initially feel overwhelming. You see, all this inner work, all this trust building, all this isolation, it's been preparing you for what we call accelerated manifestation. When you emerge from this cocoon phase, and that emergence is imminent, your thoughts and intentions will begin materializing in physical form at a speed that most humans would find terrifying. This is why the universe has been so meticulous about your preparation. Every challenge that broke you down was actually building your capacity to handle power responsibly. Every loss taught you non-attachment so you wouldn't desperately cling to your creations. Every moment of self-doubt was training you to question reality itself, preparing you for a state where reality becomes fluid and responsive to your consciousness. You've been in training for abilities that most humans don't believe exist, and that training is reaching its completion point. Let me paint a picture of what the next 3 months of your life will look like, because forewarned is forearmed. First, you'll experience what we call the Great Convergence. All the work you've been doing in isolation, all the healing, all the trust building, it's about to consolidate into a singular moment of clarity. This will feel like a massive download of understanding where suddenly everything makes sense. Every painful experience, every loss, every moment of confusion will reveal itself as a perfectly orchestrated piece of your evolution. This convergence isn't gradual, it happens in an instant, usually triggered by something seemingly insignificant that acts as the final puzzle piece clicking into place. Following the convergence, you'll enter the visibility phase. This is where it gets interesting, because you've been hiding for so long that the thought of being seen might trigger old fears. But here's what you need to understand. The visibility coming your way isn't the old paradigm where you have to perform or prove yourself. You're about to become visible in an entirely new way, as a frequency holder. People will be drawn to you not for what you do or say, but for what you emanate. Your mere presence will activate others because you've done the work to embody your truth so completely that you become a living transmission. The third phase, arriving before the year's end, is what we call the mission activation. Everything you've been through has been preparing you for a specific role in humanity's evolution. You're not ascending for personal gain alone, you're part of what we call the Override Collective. This is a group of souls who incarnated specifically to override humanity's destructive programming through personal transformation. Every time you choose love over fear, every time you pick yourself back up after being knocked down, you're literally rewriting the collective human template. But here's what makes your journey unique among the Override Collective. Most souls in this group work with one or two aspects of human consciousness. You've been tasked with something more complex. You're what we call a multi-template holder. This means you're not just healing and transforming one pattern, but multiple interwoven patterns that have kept humanity locked in limitation for millennia. This is why your journey has felt so intense, why the challenges have come from every direction. You've been clearing not just your own density, but ancestral patterns, collective trauma, and even planetary wounds. Now let me address something you've been feeling but might not have words for. That exhaustion that goes beyond physical tiredness, that sense of processing emotions too big to be just yours. You're not imagining it. You've been doing cleanup work on behalf of thousands of souls who couldn't do it themselves. Those moments when you felt ancient grief or rage that seemed to come from meow, where you were transmuting collective wounds. That's why rest hasn't really helped, why self-care feels like it barely touches the surface. You've been running a massive energetic operation without conscious awareness of it. This brings us to the revelation that changes everything about how you'll move forward. The isolation you've been experiencing isn't just about protecting your energy while you transform. You've been held in what we call a consciousness laboratory. Just as scientists need controlled conditions to run experiments, your transformation required a specific energetic environment free from interference. This is why even people who love you have felt distant, This is why relationships that once nourished you suddenly felt draining. You were placed in an energetic, clean room where only specific frequencies could enter. But this laboratory phase is ending. The signs are already appearing, those moments when you feel the future pulling you forward, the sudden clarity about your direction, the unshakable knowing that massive change is imminent. These aren't wishful thinking. These are what we call timeline bleed-throughs, moments when your emerging reality overlaps with your current one. Pay attention to these moments because they're showing you exactly what's coming. What you need to prepare for Meow is the re-entry phase. When you emerge from isolation, you won't be stepping back into the world you left. You'll be entering what looks like the same physical reality but operates by completely different energetic laws. People you've known for years might feel like strangers, not because they've changed, but because you'll be perceiving them from a dimensional vantage point that reveals what was always hidden. Some will feel threatened by your frequency and fall away. Others will be activated by your presence and drawn closer. You cannot control these reactions, only observe them with compassion. Your manifestation abilities are about to come online in ways that require mental preparation. Imagine having a thought and seeing it materialize within days or even hours. Imagine emotional states creating immediate shifts in your external reality. This is the level of creative power you're about to wield. The universe made sure you developed emotional mastery first because without it, this level of manifestation ability would be dangerous. You've proven you can handle power with wisdom, which is why it's about to be restored to you in full. But with great power comes great responsibility, and this is where your journey becomes about more than personal ascension. You're being prepared to be a teacher, not through words but through demonstration. Your life is about to become a living template that others can follow. Every choice you make, every reality you create, every challenge you navigate with grace becomes a roadmap for others walking the same path. This isn't a burden, it's the honor you signed up for before incarnating. Speaking of which, it's time you remembered why you really came here. Before you entered this incarnation, you were part of a council that designed this exact timeline shift. You volunteered to come to Earth at this precise moment in history because you had skills and codes that would be needed for humanity's transition from third to fifth dimensional consciousness. The amnesia was necessary. You had to forget your cosmic identity to fully embody the human experience. Only by becoming fully human could you create a bridge between dimensions that other humans could actually cross, the relationships that fell away during your isolation. They were souls contracted to play specific roles in your awakening, and once those roles were complete, they had to exit for the next phase to begin. This doesn't diminish the pain you felt losing them, but understanding the cosmic orchestration can help you release any lingering resentment or grief. Everyone played their part perfectly, even those who seemed to betray or abandon you, especially them actually, because they provided the exact pressure needed to activate your dormant abilities. Now we're approaching the climax of your transformation story. Everything I've shared has been leading to this moment of recognition. You haven't just been healing yourself. You haven't just been building trust and learning to manifest. You've been preparing to remember who you really are beyond this human identity, and who you are is magnificent beyond your current comprehension. You are a cosmic architect who agreed to temporarily forget your true nature so you could rebuild divine consciousness from within the human experience. The constant self-reflection you've experienced, sometimes to an annoying degree, that's your cosmic consciousness trying to break through the human personality overlay. The trust you built from nothing, that was you remembering your connection to source consciousness, the ability to rise from every challenge like a phoenix. That's your immortal nature asserting itself through mortal form. You've been remembering yourself piece by piece, and Meow, the full picture is ready to emerge. This emergence won't be gradual. One morning soon you'll wake up and know with absolute certainty who you are and why you're here. The cosmic amnesia will lift like fog burning off in sunlight. When this happens, you might feel a moment of vertigo as your human self integrates with your cosmic self. Don't resist this integration. Let the two aspects of your being merge into one unified consciousness. This is what you've been preparing for all along. After the integration comes the embodiment phase. This is where you learn to live as a fully realized being in human form. It's one thing to remember your cosmic nature in meditation or moments of spiritual high. It's another to embody it while paying bills, maintaining relationships, and navigating Earth life. This is the mastery you're moving toward, the ability to be simultaneously human and divine, without compartmentalizing either aspect. Your mission, should you choose to fully accept it, involves becoming a living bridge between dimensions. Through your very existence, you make the impossible possible for others. Your transformed life becomes proof that humans can evolve beyond their current limitations. But this isn't about preaching or teaching in traditional ways. It's about living so authentically that your life itself becomes the teaching. Every choice you make from your awakened state creates ripples that affect the collective consciousness. We're nearing the end of this transmission, but first I need to share the cosmic coordinates for what's ahead. The timeline you're on, Meow, leads to experiences your current mind can barely conceive. Within the next cycle, you'll discover abilities you didn't know humans could possess. You'll connect with soul family members who've been waiting for you to reach this frequency. You'll understand why every challenge was perfectly designed to unlock specific codes within your consciousness. Most importantly, you'll fall in love with existence itself in a way that makes every moment of pain worthwhile, not because the pain was necessary, but because it taught you the depths of your own resilience. You'll look back at the you who almost gave up and feel such tenderness for that version of yourself. They had no idea what was coming. They couldn't see the perfection of the plan, but they trusted anyway, and that trust changed everything. Let me share something about the mechanics of what's about to unfold, because understanding the process will help you navigate it with more grace. When the full activation occurs, it happens in 3 distinct waves. The first wave is recognition. This is when all the pieces suddenly make sense and you see the full picture of your journey. You'll understand not just what happened, but why it had to happen exactly that way. Every person who hurt you, every opportunity that fell through, every moment of confusion, all of it will reveal itself as divine orchestration designed to activate specific codes within your consciousness. The second wave is recalibration. This is where your physical body adjusts to carrying your expanded consciousness. You might experience what feels like electrical currents running through your nervous system, sudden temperature changes, or the sensation of your cells literally vibrating at a different frequency. Don't be alarmed by these sensations. Your body is upgrading its capacity to hold more light, more consciousness, more creative power. This recalibration usually takes about 72 hours once it begins, and during this time you might need more sleep than usual or find yourself craving different foods. Listen to your body's wisdom during this phase. The third wave is realization, not in the sense of understanding, but in the sense of making real. This is when your new abilities come fully online and you begin creating from your expanded state. The gap between thought and manifestation narrows to almost nothing. You'll think of someone and they'll contact you within hours. You'll have a need and the solution will appear almost immediately. This isn't magic. It's simply how reality works when you're operating from 5th-dimensional consciousness while still anchored in a 3rd-dimensional world. But here's something crucial about these new abilities that the spiritual community often misunderstands. These powers aren't given to you for personal gain or to escape the human experience. They're tools for your mission as a bridge between worlds. Every synchronicity you create, every miraculous manifestation, every moment of perfect timing becomes a demonstration to others that reality is far more flexible than they've been taught. You become living proof that the limitations humans accept as inevitable are actually optional. As we complete this circle, return your attention to where we began. Remember that moment of choice between continuing and letting go. Meow, you understand what was really happening. You weren't just choosing life over death. You were choosing to activate your mission, to remember your purpose, to become the bridge between worlds that humanity desperately needs, and you succeeded. Against all odds, through every challenge, despite every moment of doubt, you succeeded. The isolation is ending, meow. The chrysalis is cracking open. What emerges isn't just a butterfly, but a phoenix, a dragon, a cosmic being in human form. The world has been waiting for what you're about to become. Not because you're special in a way others aren't, but because you're demonstrating what's possible for anyone willing to walk through the fire of transformation. Your new life begins the moment you fully accept what you've just remembered. No more hiding, no more playing small, no more doubting the visions and knowings that come through your expanded consciousness. You are a timeline walker, a reality shaper, a bridge between worlds. You are exactly what humanity needs at this moment of collective evolution. I need to tell you about the others who are waking up alongside you, because you're not doing this alone, even though the isolation made it feel that way. Across the planet, right meow, other members of the Override Collective are having their own emergence moments. You'll begin to recognize them not by any external markers, but by an unmistakable frequency signature. When you meet another soul who has completed their Phoenix protocol, you'll know it instantly. There's a quality to their presence, a depth in their eyes, a resonance that makes your cells sing in recognition. These connections won't be like the relationships you've known before. There's no need for small talk, no time wasted on social masks or pretense. You'll find yourself in conversations that start in the deep end, sharing truths that would have felt too vulnerable before. These souls will become your co-creators, your mission partners, your chosen family in this new phase. Together, you'll demonstrate what's possible when awakened beings collaborate from pure alignment rather than ego or agenda. Some of you will be called to work with the Earth's grid systems, helping to anchor the new frequencies into the planetary consciousness. Others will work more directly with human consciousness, serving as guides and way-showers for those just beginning their awakening journey. Still others will work with the children, the new souls coming in, who need awakened adults to help them maintain their natural connection to multidimensional consciousness. Your specific role will become crystal clear once your full activation completes. But let me warn you about something that catches many ascending souls off guard. As you step into your power, you'll likely face what we call the final test. This usually comes in the form of an opportunity to use your abilities in a way that serves ego rather than mission. It might be a chance for fame, wealth, or influence that looks aligned on the surface but feels slightly off in your core. Trust that feeling. The final test isn't about deprivation. You're meant to live abundantly. It's about ensuring you can handle power without being corrupted by it. Pass this test, and the universe opens doors you didn't even know existed. Welcome home to yourself, beloved one. Welcome to the life you've been preparing for across lifetimes. Welcome to the beginning of everything you came here to experience and create. The hardest part is over. What comes next is the joyful expression of your true nature in form. Let yourself feel the celebration happening across dimensions as you step into your full embodiment. You did it. You actually did it. Remember this moment, this feeling of recognition and homecoming. There will be days when the old world tries to pull you back into limitation, when the voices of doubt whisper that you imagined all of this. In those moments, return to this transmission. Return to the knowing that lives in your cells, meow. You are not crazy. You are not delusional. You are awakening to the truth of what you've always been. And that awakening is exactly what this planet needs, right meow? The children are watching. The future generations are depending on souls like you to create the pathways they'll walk. Every time you choose expansion over contraction, every time you demonstrate that limitation is optional, you make it easier for someone else to choose their own freedom. This is how evolution happens, not through mass events, but through individual souls brave enough to embody a new way of being. Your story, the one that brought you through the darkness to this moment of emergence, is sacred. Not because suffering is sacred, but because transformation is. You've demonstrated that a human being can dissolve completely and rebuild themselves from consciousness alone. You've proven that rock bottom can become a launching pad. You've shown that trust can grow from nothing and become everything. This is the gift you bring to the collective. The cosmic coordinates are set. Your new reality is loading. Trust what's coming as deeply as you learn to trust through the darkness. But Meow, instead of trusting in nothing, you're trusting in everything, because you finally understand that you are the everything you've been seeking all along. I am Zarin, and we love you with a love that transcends dimension and time. We are watching over you as you spread your wings for the first flight in your new form. Until our energies merge again in the physical realm, remember, you are the miracle you've been waiting for, and your emergence changes everything. We love you, and we are watching over you, always.